welcome to my YouTube channel. In this first video, we are going to solve the numerical problems from first unit, which is Nature of Physical World and Measurement from 11th Standard Physics. So without any further delay, let's start solving the first question. In a submarine equipped with sonar. So here is a submarine which is equipped with sonar. Sonar is a equipment which is something like horn in vehicles. So the horn emits sound waves. So in the same way, the equipment sonar also emits the sound wave. The time delay between the generation of pulse and its echo after reflection from an enemy submarine is observed. So the time delay between the generation of the pulse, so the pulse is generated and and it is reflected back from an enemy submarine here. The reflection, which is nothing but an echo from the enemy submarine, is observed to be 80 seconds, which means the the pulse that is generated is traveled through this water and it's the enemy submarine, and the echo is reflected back and it is observed by the observer, which is found to be 80 seconds. So the time delay is 80 seconds. So the total time is equal to 80 seconds. And it's also given if the speed of sound in water is 1460 meter second minus 1. So the speed of sound in water, which is nothing but the velocity of the sound inside water, which is equal to 1460 meter second minus 1. And we can also observe that if the distance between these two submarines is x, so this is what we are going to find. What is the distance of the enemy submarine? So let it be x. So the total distance traveled by this sound wave, I mean the pulse generated here, it traveled through this way the distance x, and it reflects back, and it also travels the x distance again. So the total distance traveled is equal to x plus x, that is 2x. Using the velocity equation, we know that velocity is equal to distance covered by time. So we know the total distance covered is equal to 2x, and the time delay is 80 seconds, and the velocity is given 1460. To find x, we shall bring this 80 to the left hand side, which comes to the numerator, and 1460 into 80, which is equal to 2x. And x can be found by bringing this 2 to this denominator, and x is equal to 58,400 meters. But the answer is given in kilometers. So here the unit conversion, I mean I'm going to convert meters to kilometers. For this unit conversion, I will teach you a method. We know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. So bring this kilometers down. So 1 is equal to 1000 meter divided by kilometer. So either you should multiply or divide this one. So this is where most of the students used to confuse whether to multiply or divide. So if we were to multiply this one, we will find 58,400 meters into 1, that is 1000 meters divided by kilometers. So meter into meter will get meter square by kilometer. So we don't get kilometer. This is the wrong way. So what is we divided by 1? So 58,400 meters divided by 1, that is 1000 meters divided by kilometers. So here the meters and meter get cancelled out, and the kilometers comes to numerator, such that the meter is converted into kilometer now. So the answer is x is equal to 58,400 kilometers divided by 1000, that is 10 to the power 3. If we bring this 10 to the power 3 to the numerator, it becomes 10 to the power minus 3, which we get x is equal to 58,400 into 10 to the power minus 3 kilometers. It's 10 to the power minus 3. So we bring the decimal digit here to the left hand side. We will shift it to the left hand side. So x is equal to 58.40 kilometers. So the answer is 58.40 kilometers. So the answer is correct. Here, I will give you the reference now. The reference for this problem is given in the page number 15, example number 1.3. A similar kind of example sum is given in which we use radar, and here we have used sonar. I hope you understood the problem. I want you to comment down why have you used radar here and why have we used sonar here. Let's start solving the second question, which is about significant figures. So let's start. The radius of the circle is 3.12 meter. So we consider a circle. Sorry. Oh my god. This is too bad. So just you consider this as a circle of radius 3.12 meters. Calculate the area of the circle with regards to significant figures. We are asked to calculate the area of this circle with regards to significant figures. So we shall start solving this. We know area of the circle is equal to pi r square. The value of pi is 3.14 and radius square is 3.12 and 3.12. When we multiply them, we get 30.5660 meters squared. So this is the area, but the question is to find the area of the circle with regards to the significant figures. When we have more than one number multiplied, we should consider the significant figures of the smallest number. This is the rule of the significant figure. So here the smallest number is 3.12, which has three significant figures. But luckily in this question, all the three multiplicants has the same significant value, that is 3. So it is necessary to convert our answer that should have three significant figures. So we already have two significant figures, that is 30, and we are asked to find only one decimal digit here. So to convert it to one decimal digit, we should come from the right hand side. So 0 is less than 5, so it can be cancelled out. And 6 is more than 5, and then we have to add 1 to the previous number. So adding 1, it becomes 7. And now 7 is greater than 5, so we have to add 1 more to the previous number, so it gets converted to 6. So the answer is 30.6 meters square. So we have found the area of the circle with regards to the significant figure to be 30.6 meters square, which is the answer, 30.6 meters square. So I will give you the reference for this question, which is the concept of significant figures, which is given page number 28 here, which you can go through. So let's start solving the third question now, that is dimensional analysis. Assuming that the frequency nu of a vibrating string may depend upon 1 applied force, 2 length, and 3 mass per unit length. So we assume that the frequency nu, whose unit is second minus 1 and its dimensional constant is t to the power minus 1, is dependent on applied force capital F, length small l, and mass per unit length small m. We will write their units now. For force, it's Newton and its unit is kg meter second minus 2, and for length it's meter, and for mass per unit length it's kg meter minus 1. And now we shall resolve the dimensional constants. So for force, the dimensional constant is m l t to the power minus 2, and for length it's capital L, and for mass per unit length it's m l power minus 1. And we are asked to prove that the new frequency is proportional to 1 by L into root of F by M using dimensional constant. So we shall prove this equation, that is the nu is proportional to 1 by L into root of F by M using dimensional constant as follows. Now writing the dimensional constant of nu t to the power minus 1 and their dependence on the right hand side for force ml t to the power minus 2 and for length it's capital L and mass per unit length ml power minus 1. To know their dependence, we write A, B and C. We are asked to find these unknown variables A of force and B of length and C for mass per unit length small m. So let's start solving this question now. In the first step, we have to bring this A inside the square bracket and B inside the square bracket and C inside the square bracket, and we should separate M in one side and L in another side and T as well. So first, multiplying A inside and separating M. We will multiply A inside, we get M to the power A, and one more M is here. We will multiply C inside and M to the power C. There is no more M left, so M power A and M power C. So the next one is capital L. So capital L power A is written. So capital L power B is written. And capital L power minus C, minus 1 into C is minus C, so L power minus C is written. There is only one T to the power, there is only one T, that is T to the power minus 2A. That is T to the power minus 2A. And now we shall add them when the bases are equal. So M to the power A plus C, L power A plus B minus C, and T power minus 2A. And by equating M, L and T, which means, see, here there is T. So we shall equate T and T. Here there is no L, which means there is L power 0 and there is M power 0. So by equating for M first, A plus C, and here it is 0, so A plus C is equal to 0. And for equating L, capital L, A plus B minus C, A plus B minus C equal to 0. And here for equating capital T, we get minus 2A, which is equal to minus 1 here. So minus 2A, which is equal to minus 1. So these three are the equations. Using the third equation, we can directly find the value of A, which is equal to 1 by 2. And substitute A is equal to 1 by 2 in first equation, that is A plus C is equal to 0. We get half plus C is equal to 0, such that C is equal to minus 1 by 2. And substituting this A and C in equation 2, that is A plus B minus C is equal to 0. So A is equal to 1 by 2 plus B we don't know, and minus of, for C it's minus 1 by 2, and we will write minus 1 by 2 here, which is equal to 0. And multiplying them and removing the brackets, so half plus B plus half is equal to 0, which is 1 plus B, that is half plus half is equal to 1. So 1 plus B is equal to 0, and we get B is equal to minus 1. So these three are the answer, that is A is equal to A is equal to 1 by 2 and C is equal to minus 1 by 2 and B is equal to minus 1. We will substitute these values A, B and C here in this star equation, such that we get T to the power minus 1 is equal to this force expression to the power 1 by 2 and this length expression to the power minus 1 and this mass per unit length expression to the power minus 1 by 2. The frequency nu is equal to, it is proportional to, this is the force term which has to be written inside the root. So 1 by 2, which means the root. So the force term is written inside the root in numerator, since it is plus, and L is L to the power minus 1 is given. So L has to be written outside the root, but it has to be written in the denominator since it's L to the power minus 1. So 1 by L, and mass per unit length term, that is small m, which has to be written inside the root since there is 1 by 2, since there is m to the power 1 by 2, and it has to be written in the denominator since there is a minus. So m is written in the denominator inside the square root. So we have proved that the frequency is proportional to 1 by L root f by m. So hence proved. There is no reference problem given in this similar kind inside the book. Fourth question is given. Jupiter is at a distance of 824.7 million kilometer from the Earth. So this is the planet Jupiter J is at a distance of 824.7 million kilometer from Earth. So this is the distance from the Earth. Its angular diameter is measured to be 35.72 arc seconds. So this is the angular diameter. So this is theta given. So the theta is given as 35.72 arc seconds. And the distance from the Jupiter to Earth is given as x is equal to 824.7 million kilometers. So we shall convert this to kilometers. We know that x is equal to 824.7 million is nothing but 10 to the power 6 kilometers. So now the given angular diameter theta, which is equal to 35.72 arc seconds, and we are asked to calculate the diameter of the Jupiter. So we have to calculate this diameter d of the Jupiter. So let's start solving this question. So the first step involves the conversion of units. See here, theta is given in arc seconds. In the first step, we have to convert this arc seconds to degree, and we have to convert this degree to radians to perform this question. So first we shall start converting this arc seconds to degree. We know that 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes, and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, and 1 minute is equal to 60 arc seconds here. So 1 degree is equal to 60 into 60, that is 3600 arc seconds. So using our method, 1 is equal to, bring this degree to the denominator, 3600 arc seconds divided by degree. And now we have to convert, that is theta, which is equal to 35.72 arc seconds, that arc seconds to degree. Now whether we should multiply or divide this one. So first we shall multiply this one, that is, if you multiply this one, that is 3600 arc seconds divided by degree, this arc second and arc second doesn't cancel out, it's in multiplication, it gets arc second square divided by degree. So this is wrong. Now we shall try dividing this one, that is 3600 arc seconds divided by degree. Now we shall notice this arc second and arc seconds get cancelled out, and this degree comes to the numerator, so we get 35.72 divided by 3600 degree. So now we have converted arc seconds to degree. Now we have to convert degrees to radians. For the conversion of degree to radians, we know that 90 degree, which is equal to pi by 2 radian. Similarly, 180 degree is equal to pi radian. Now if we bring this 180 to the denominator, 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radian. And now we bring this degree to the denominator, so that we get 1 is equal to pi by 180 radian divided by, we have bring this degree to the denominator, so radian divided by degree we got. And now to convert this degree term, that is 35 point, that is theta, which is equal to 35.72 divided by 3600 degree to radian, we have to convert this degree to radian. We have to we should either multiply this one or we should divide this one. So the first we will try with multiplying this one. If we were to multiply this one, see the degree and degree cancels out, pi by 180 radian divided by degree. So we shall notice that degree and degree cancels out, we get radian. So this is correct. Now we have converted this degree to radian. So now if we solve this, if we substitute 3.14 for pi, we will get that is 35.72 divided by 3600 into 3.14 divided by 180, we get answer as 1.730 into 10 to the power minus 4 radian. So this is the theta. So we have so the unit conversion is over, and now we are asked to find the diameter d of this Jupiter. To find this diameter d, we should use sine theta. Why? Because we know that sine theta is equal to opposite side. The opposite side is the diameter, opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is here, which is 824.7 million kilometers. Since it is a long distance, since it's a very large distance, we can consider this distance is equal to the hypotenuse, is approximately equal to the hypotenuse, which is 824.7 million kilometers. So this is hypotenuse. So you shall also note that this theta is very, very small, since the Jupiter seems to be very, very small from Earth. When this theta is very, very small, sine theta is approximately equal to theta, and which is equal to, for sine theta, it is opposite side by hypotenuse. So the opposite side is the diameter d, which we should find, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 824.7 million kilometers, that is 10 to the power 6 kilometers. And now to find this diameter d, we should bring this term to the left hand side so that it comes to the numerator. So for theta we substitute 1.730 into 10 to the power minus 4 multiplied by this denominator term when it comes to the left hand side, that is 824.7 into 10 to the power 6 kilometers is equal to the diameter d. So d is equal to, multiplying this, we get answer 1.48428 into 10 to the power 5 kilometers. So this is the answer given. Diameter is 1.428 into 10 to the power 5 kilometer. So the similar kind of problem is given in page number 14, example number 1.2, which you can use it for reference. Last question. The measurement value of length of a simple pendulum is 20 centimeter. So it is a simple pendulum problem. The measurement value of this simple pendulum whose length is given to be 20 centimeter, and the length of the simple pendulum is 20 centimeter known with 2 millimeter accuracy. So the accuracy of this length measurement is 2 millimeter. Now we shall convert this accuracy in centimeter, which is equal to 2 into, for milli it's 10 to the power minus 3 meter. Now we shall separate this 10 to the power minus 3 as 10 to the power minus 1 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 1 centimeter, 10 to the power minus 2 is centi, so centimeters. We have converted to centimeters, and it is also given the time for 50 oscillations was measured to be 40 seconds. That is, the time for 1, 2, 3 and so on 50 oscillations, it is measured to be 40 seconds. So t for 50 seconds, which is equal to 40 seconds. We need the capital T, that is the time for one oscillation. For one oscillation, we can find it by 40 divided by 50 seconds, which is equal to 0.8 seconds. And now was measured to be 40 seconds with 1 second resolution. That is, the 50 oscillation was measured to be 40 seconds with 1 second resolution. So del t for 50 oscillation is 1 second. The accuracy is 1 second. Then the accuracy of capital del t, which is equal to 1 by 50 seconds, which is equal to 0.02 seconds. So we have got all the given data, that is length L, the accuracy of length in centimeter, and the capital T for one oscillation, and the capital del T, that is the accuracy for one oscillation, to be 0.02 seconds. And we are asked to calculate the percentage accuracy in the determination of acceleration due to gravity g. So using this given data, we have to calculate the percentage accuracy of the acceleration due to gravity g. We have one formula that relates the time period of simple pendulum and the acceleration due to gravity, that is t is equal to 2 pi root L by g. So here g is the acceleration due to gravity. To find g, we square on both the sides. That is t square is equal to 4 pi square L by g. So we bring g to the left hand side, it comes to the numerator, and t square goes to the right hand side, it comes to the denominator. So g is equal to 4 pi square into L by t square. And in next step, we are asked to calculate the percentage accuracy in the determination of acceleration due to gravity g from the above measurement. We are asked to calculate the percentage accuracy. So that is del g by g into 100. This is the percentage accuracy for acceleration due to gravity, which is equal to the sum of the individual percentage accuracy of L and t square. For L, the percentage accuracy is del L by L into 100 plus for t square, when there is a squared term, we should differentiate it. So differentiating t square, we get 2t. So we should find the percentage accuracy of 2t. 2 into the percentage accuracy of t is similarly del t by t into 100. Now we shall solve this equation from the given data. So the percentage accuracy of acceleration due to gravity g, which is equal to del L, which is given 2 into 10 to the power minus 1 centimeter, divided by the length is given 20 centimeter, into 100 plus 2 into del t is given as 0.02 divided by t is 0.8 seconds. This is also 0.02 seconds into 100. So now we shall solve this problem. So 2 divided by 20 is 10, 2 ones are 2, 2 tens are 20. So this 10 comes to the numerator and it takes 10 to the power minus 1 into, this comes to the numerator, it takes 10 to the power minus 1 into 100 is nothing but 10 to the power 2 plus 2 into 0.02 divided by 0.8 is 0.025 into 100. So here 10 to the power minus 2 into 10 to the power plus 2, they get cancelled out. We get 1 plus 2 into 0.025 into 100 is 0.25, which is 1 plus 2 into 0.025 is 5. So 1 plus 5 is equal to 6%. So the percentage accuracy, that is del g by g into 100. The percentage accuracy of acceleration due to gravity is 6% for the given simple pendulum. A similar kind of example is given in page number 26, example number 1.9, which you can use it for reference. So in this lecture 1 from unit 1, we have solved all the numerical problems. In lecture 2, we will be solving the multiple choice questions from unit 1. I hope you guys like this video. If you find any mistakes in this solution, please do let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you.